Hello and welcome back for episode 9, where for the first time in a long time, the start of the episode is actually at the start of the episode. Because we're going to do our GeoSync satellites. And, up to this point I've been kind of cutting out a lot of the testing footage and stuff like that, just to kind of give a basic guideline of how to start career mode. But staying below the 30 part count has been really debilitating because one of my favorite aspects of this game is being able to actually design and build the different crafts, and trying to stay below 30 parts just means you kind of have to just use the most efficient thing. You can't really get wild with it and just create ridiculous stuff. So being that we unlocked a whole shit ton of new parts all at once, and when I first went to start building the GeoSync satellites, I was kind of like a kid in a candy store, and you went from there maybe being a box of candy in your house to there being walls of candy, and your mind just kind of explodes. I'm going to show you what that looks like. Because yeah, when I first started to build this thing, I just kind of got really giddy about the fact that I had a whole crap ton of parts and I didn't have to stay below 30 parts or anything. So as you can see, there's a few iterations along the way, and so this is this is what it looks like when you just kind of mind explodes. So yeah, I got really carried away on this guy, but luckily Senior Minds prevailed, and it cost almost 30 grand to build, and it was like 9 tons or something, so I didn't really feel like trying to launch that. So we're just gonna pile drive through a few. I basically went through and just kind of had some fun and just designed a few different things just to kind of see how that'd be, but this is version 2 and it was still almost 30 grand and it was still pretty heavy and completely unnecessary. So I slapped this guy together just for fun and gave it a bit of a brain up top as a command center. At this point I wasn't even really trying to design the GeoSyncs anymore. I was just kind of having some fun, which is also part of the fun of this game. It's just designing different things. So we ended up dumping all of these iterations and settled on. So we finally went to the final version, which is kind of misleading because I stacked it. Oops. Oop. Which is basically this guy. So I kind of boiled down to I wanted to keep this top part flat. Technically that doesn't need to be there, so that I could essentially have the decouplers to be able to create the stack, which you saw, and have it be fairly uniform, like it's one continuous kind of somewhat structure. Yeah, the top guy needed a thing on it. So the heart of this thing is there's a probe core in the middle there, and then obviously we got 3 satellite columns on the outside. The lights are just for fun. And then we got a battery ring and 3 batteries, and then we also have a reaction wheel buried in there. And then we've got 3 mono tanks and some RCS thrusters. More decoration. There's the triple solar panels, and that's actually pretty much it. I kind of went with bare bones, although I did give it a bunch of communication antennas just because I didn't think it was a communication satellite without having a bunch of these old school Commatrons. So I think this is the final version we're going to go with because it only costs 14,000 and it only weighs 3 tons. So I'm hoping this middle stage here has 600 delta V. So I don't actually, because I haven't done any testing, I don't actually know how much delta V I need for each of these to achieve the orbits I want them to. So yeah, this is going to be our comm network, basically, is we're going to have 3 of these guys that we're going to launch at 120-degree intervals. We are going to be at it's going to be an orbit of 2868 kilometers, give or take. The big thing is we're going to want the orbital period to be 6 hours, because that's what Kerbin is. So we're going to try and get as close as we can, but I'm not a huge perfectionists, so we probably just get close. To the point where I'm like, close enough. So yeah, now I need to hopefully build a rocket that can launch this. It's going to be 9.2 tons. And it's already pretty tall. So I think we're going to go fat with this rocket instead of lengthy. So I've set up a asparagus, I think it's called, staging sequence. So basically we're going to fire all 3 engines off the start, which will give us lots of thrust-to-weight ratio. And these outside tanks are purely literally just that, they're fuel tanks. But how the burn's going to go is basically these tanks are going to drain, these outside tanks will drain first, and then we're going to ditch them. And they'll be draining into these guys. And then these guys will drain, and then we will ditch them, and they will be like draining to the middle here. So essentially that's how I've set up the fuel lines, is like this tank will empty first because it's feeding into this one, and then these ones will empty next because they're feeding into the center one. And it gives us 3800 EV, which is pretty much exactly what we have before. And I'm hoping a way more stable launch, because yeah, having the thing teetering like that is not cool. Although I need to do a couple things. I think I'm going to give this thing, I don't want it standing on the ground this time. So we're going to give it that. We're going to let the engines fire first. And the last thing I want to do is space type. Because you can never have enough space tape, especially if these things are going to be firing. Because they're going to create a torque force basically on these decouplers. So hopefully that should keep these guys rock solid. So this is kind of one rocket. And hopefully this should deal with our wiggle problem. And this still looks ugly with all those struts, but it's kind of, well, I guess we'll find out. If it doesn't wiggle nearly as bad, I might be able to get rid of them. But we shall see. Wow, that was considerably better. In fact, I don't think this thing even moved. Well, time to find out what happens. So we're gonna go SAS. So we're gonna do, yeah, might as well do full throttle. Let's figure it out from there. So we're gonna have double tap space here because we're gonna fire engines and then we're gonna fire these guys. We can back off a little bit on the throttle. Well, so far so good. She's airborne. She is tipping the wrong direction. I was actually concerned about us having enough control, but I guess these guys all do have reaction wheels, if I remember correct. So my press is actually working. Oh man, how long have those tanks been empty for? Oh man, I was not paying attention. Hold on, we're redoing this. Because that thing was flyable. And I'm pretty sure I can actually pop those latches. With the engines. So what did we were like about there? Okay. You, I need to watch you. I was watching over here, but because they don't have engines, they're not actually showing up over there. That was a new mistake. Okay, so round 2. Flight! Yeah, she keeps wanting to tip west for some reason. I'm gonna go to limb and say some imbalance in that big mess we have up there, but we do need to start banking though. I was not watching that shit. And I wasn't watching my Oh. Oh man, it's actually wanting to tip on me. Alright, well, apparently she has limits. Crap. Fallen into a bit of a dive. We didn't get high enough. Well, we're not really in a dive. We're not in any danger, but we're getting less efficient the farther that velocity vector gets from where I'm aiming. I think I might have actually stalled it enough there. Okay, fucking give her shit. I'm gonna make up some time here. Goodbye. Enjoy your fiery death. Thank you for your contribution to our communication network. Wow, we actually ended up at a 7720 after all that. It's kind of impressive. I can toot my own horn. Good first launch. Good first test. However, might as well actually keep this burning because we need to get this out. We need to get this way higher. And I also don't want to lose communication, so probably good if I kind of gone out this way, because then the planet's rotating this way. So what do we need? We need 2868. And wow, this thing's actually getting... our delta V calculation is going to be interesting here. Oh. Why are we bleeding? Are we still in atmosphere? Oh my god, we're still in atmosphere. Wow, we're a little over now. That's okay. We'll probably micro-tune that. We got 750 delta V left. So... oh shit, this might actually work. Okay, so now I got some time to think, because I need to figure this shit out. So... oh! What the hell? Why did that... do that? Oh my god, are you kidding me? Actually, I just quick saved. Or I'm pretty sure I did anyway. Yeah, okay. What the hell? Don't do that. That's not cool. Jesus. Okay, so where's Kerbal? Well, let's go to this one, orbital, and I need orbital period installed, please. Because we are definitely going to need that. Because I'm not 100% sure what I'm supposed to get my periaps up to. The idea here is, okay, so when they're in GeoSync, they'll have a 6-hour orbital period. However, in order for me to launch them 120 degrees apart, what I'm basically going to do is this apoapse is at the elevation that they need to be for the circular. So I'm going to put this craft into a 4-hour orbital period, with my thinking being that when I launch the first craft, it's going to do its burn, get up to height, and then they're both going to do a rotation around here, and these outside craft will take 6 hours, but the inside craft will only take 4. So this guy will be exactly 2 hours ahead of the one we launched. or yeah, which is 100, well, basically 120 degrees. So then we'll launch our second one, repeat, and launch our third one and repeat, and should get them all roughly 120 apart. I don't actually know how that's going to work. And also, this maneuver node is not going to give me an orbital period. So I'm going to have to freehand this burn, which is kind of scary, because where's KSC? It is rotating faster. Wait, we're not even linked to KSC. Do we still have control? How do we still have control? That's interesting. It even says I can transmit. So how? I thought these things had to have like LOS. Maybe that's not the case? Well, that's poopy. I was really hoping they had LOS to them. Because like in theory, I shouldn't be able to control this craft right now. Because KSC is clipped. Which is what my big problem was going to be with hoping that KSC was facing out here. Interesting. I'm gonna have to look into that. Anyway, we're gonna just carry on and pretend like nothing happened. So yeah, we're gonna have to freehand this guy. Because I need to figure out what the periapse is to get a 4-hour orbital period. But what I might as well do is check our DV here. Because I need to make sure. What is it? 28. So that takes 438. So each of those satellites has 600. So that's perfect because once we push this PE up, they won't even have this is plotting from this point. We're going to be even higher than this, so they should have plenty of delta V to do their orbits, which is perfect. That's what I was hoping for. I don't have to go like completely redesign the damn satellites. But yeah, otherwise we need to pretty much just waiting for this our apoapse. Okay, so we are 2 minutes out on this burn. And I have absolutely no idea. Let me turn that back on. I don't know when to actually fire my engine here to figure this out. I made a save like 10 minutes out, so hopefully this doesn't go horrible. We're at like 10 seconds now. Just fire this. Okay. Is that actually changing? Yeah, that's actually changing. Whatever, I can fix that. Okay, so we're getting really close here. And actually, if I do RCS, no, that's what's closest it's getting. Cool. What's our parry? 1.2 mil. What's this? 2870. That's kind of poopy. We need to push that down a bit. But anyway, so apparently to get a 4-hour rotation, you want 1.223. So in theory now, when in a minute here, when we reach Apo, I can actually eject one of these satellites. Well, it is time to launch our first ever satellite in 30 seconds. It's also our first craft that has multiple pieces. Because in theory, all this mass should work out, and this thing still has like 400 LTVs. So should be enough to crash it or land it. I'm impartial about which one. I really could care less. As long as it doesn't stay up here as a piece of space trash, because nobody likes someone who litters. Decouple. Oh my. This is intimidating. Okay, we need to fire our engine, full throttle. And we want this guy to go to 6 hours. Wow, that thing is going really fast. Let's back that off a bit. And more. And we do have RCS as well, so hopefully we should be able to finesse this baby. And this is what I mean too by like it doesn't. You could go really OCD, and to be honest, I might come back out here and fix them at a later time. But your altitude and parry aren't as important as this. Like this is the big one, is you want this 6 hour orbit, because that's essentially the case. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to turn on RCS here. H and N is your RCS forward and backwards. I, J, K, L is your up, down, left, right. So we're just going to tap it, and that was way too much. Yeah, we can't get that any better. So we'll turn off RCS, and we're in a 2874 by 2862. Yeah, that's a pretty gross orbit. We still have 400 delta V though. That's awesome. And we have a bunch of monopropellant still. And I think, aha! I made an action group. All right. Comms deployed. And our first satellite is away. Dun dun dun. Now we can't switch to the other vessel anymore. So we need to go to this screen. So basically we went more than 2 kilometers away from it. So we want to click on it and go switch to. And you can bet your bottom dollar I'm probably going to go up and fix that guy's orbit, but at this point I don't really care, and that's going to be an anal finicky thing that involves going from EP to PE a bunch of times probably. So sweet, we have 1 satellite away. Now we just have to wait to deploy the second one. Alrighty, we are 30 seconds out from launching a second satellite. And if the first one... Why do I not have control? Uh-oh. Did you finally stop giving me control, or did you run out of battery? You ran out of battery, oh my god. I forgot to deploy the satellite dishes. Oh, and I have no way to deploy them now. Oh my god, no. I think I just fucked this whole mission. Ah. Whoops. Anyway, I can get enough power to eject those. Only if I turn off the engine, but I can't turn on the engine because no one's here to turn it on. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I think we just successfully fucked this mission. Cause this guy is a dead stick. Oh my god, that's so annoying. Oh, this is another, actually, I just gave a perfect example there of why I like to actually make saves before I go out on missions. Because that way, even if you do a quick save and a quick load, you can still technically revert the mission by just loading the save before it. So in this case, I loaded the save at the end of last episode, which works out perfect. Shit. Well, I'm gonna go get this Thunka Junk up to orbit again. And yeah, that sucked. Damn it! Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it! We were doing so good. I had it. We're just like slapping Delta V's together and not really knowing how much I needed, just kind of guessing. I can't believe it actually worked. Okay, so we're back here on the launch pad. I took a little break, went and punched some things. Actually, I'm just kidding. I don't even know how to throw a proper punch. But I took a minute just to kind of... I was pretty pissed off myself for that. That was a pretty newbie mistake. But yeah. So, being that this is going to be identical to the last time I did this, probably just going to hypercut it and hopefully get some cool angles while I do it. So, yeah. Round 3. Flight. Well, that was fucking stupid. Yeah, I rolled it. Lesson learned. I should probably just go straight up for a while at full throttle before I really start pissing with this thing, because this is starting to get a bit stupid. So, round 4, flight. Oh my fucking god. God damn it, fuck. Ah, I forgot to launch the tanks. I rode them all the way up. All the misery. Why? I had it on the first try. Now I can't even get this thing off the ground. Oh my fucking god. Oh, now I'm really starting to get mad. Ah, damn it! I had a good launch that time too, even with the extra weight. Round, what are we at? 5, I think. Light. So one thing I am gonna do this time that I didn't do last time is I'm actually just gonna set Mun as the yeah. Shit, I shouldn't have went so high. Oh well. So yeah, what I was gonna say is, because it seems like I don't actually need LOS to KSC at all, I want to make sure these geosyncs are actually on the perfect equator, and the Mun is on a perfect equator, so I can tell that I'm 1 degree out. So what I think I might actually do here is we're going to fire our engines at Apoaps, get orbit, and then I'm actually going to wherever this ends up, I'll plot a maneuver node, and we're going to straighten out our orbit, and then we're going to shoot out to the 28. It's probably not quite as efficient as the way we did it before, but I have a shit ton of extra Delta V, so I'm going to make sure we're flat. Now what we're gonna do is press the G key, because I programmed everything to landing gear, and deploy our satellite dishes, so that hopefully this time we are not morons. And wow, that thing looks pretty crazy. So, I don't know what the hell's going on here. Fuck. We're like 9 minutes from Apple Apps here, and for some reason I don't have control of the vessel again. And I have absolutely no idea why. Like, I should. Makes no sense this time. We have power. We have 3 probes. Like, what the hell gives here? The only thing I can think of is the fact that I switched to it from the map screen. Maybe that's buggy. And if reloading this doesn't work, and then we're gonna be past the apple probably. Yeah, see, what the crap? Oh man, we like just got that in the nick of time. I can't believe that worked. Shit, okay. You need to do that. So, we're actually... Whoa. Actually, I don't even know if I'm gonna need this thing. Oh, well, I'll use some of this now. We are actually... Oh my god. Man, my heart is like pounding now. We are past where we got to before. And I'm actually really curious now if... Well, actually we did run out of power last time, so no, that doesn't matter. But this time we did not run out of power. It was not my fault. This is the game's fault. And it almost screwed me. But luckily we were still able to get out here. Let's just shut you off. Just to be safe, and I may or may not have cut out the other one, but I renamed the other vessel as well, GeoSync 1. We're going to give that a quick save, and this time we're going to go to the Space Center, because apparently this game does not like switching on the map screen. And we are down to our very last orbit and our very last satellite, and then we get to burn this baby. I'm going to try and actually safely land it, but if it blows up, it blows up. So let's give it a quick save. It looks like I actually have control this time. My SAS is on. So we just need to do another orbit. It's probably not perfect by any stretch. Their orbital periods are good. It's just they're gonna wobble a little bit probably because their actual orbits are not perfect. So we are ready to launch the final satellite of our evil network, which we shall do non-evil things with. And launch. Nope, that's not what I want. I want this, I want full throttle, and I want you to fire the engines. This way. And we'll kill a bunch of my thrust. Ooh. We'll really kill our thrust. Slowly getting better at this. 5 satellites later. Come on. Just tap it in. Just tap it in. Success! That's an interesting. What is this guy's orbit? Yeah, see, that's nowhere close. It's supposed to be 2868. So this, we've definitely got a wobble. In fact, they probably all have wobbles. But, more importantly, they look like they are in a pretty decent triangle. Ha ha ha! Success! So now, path, yeah. Now the dirty bit. But I need to get to the other missile. Alrighty. So, now that the dirty deed is done, and we're close enough to Apo that I don't really care. Go retro! Except this guy doesn't have reaction force. Wonder if they ever fix the autopilot so they don't just completely overshoot. Oh! Oh, that was much smoother. They used to just like give it and just completely overshoot the target node because they wouldn't think to, you know, counteract the movement that they created. Yeah, we want to light this up, and we're gonna bring this guy way down to the ground, quite literally. And what is this? Why are you still there? Don't care. Does that thing have 1,000 Delta V? Holy hand banana. Why do I have so much more Delta V this time? That is crazy. I think I'm gonna go down a limb here. We may have overcompensated. Oh, I know why. It's because we dumped all that satellite mass, so now it's recalculated with the new Delta V's. Yeah. Actually, this might work out in our favor. Because we don't actually have a heat shield. And we also don't have solar panels. Shit. Turn that off, turn that off. Stop, 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 stop. Stop draining power. Save the power until we get closer. Let's not do that again. However, I should be able to... Oh, this thing needs some reaction wheels. Holy crabola. Burn! Burn, 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 burn. Slow our asses down. I don't want to hit the atmosphere at 3,000 meters a second. Oof, what did that do? Well, that just put us on a really ranked dive. Oh, I shouldn't have burned straight retro. Oopsie. Shit. Burn that way. Burn that way. Ah, we're out of fuel anyway. Well, that was all kinds of bad. I did not do that properly. However, regardless how bad it was, I killed like 800 meters a second. Although, we might be on a ballistic trajectory now, I don't know. Oh, I did. Actually, I got it to flatten out. And, holy shit. Man, if we actually get this thing to land, it's going to be actually really close to KSP. That is awesome. Oh, now I really want it to make it. Come on, baby. So what is that? That's a negative 200. But we're only at 47. That's not a good estimate. Yeah, we're going to undershoot. But that's still pretty impressive. We're going to be like bitchin' close. And I did not actually mean to do that. And I probably should have, because we definitely had the Delta V. I could have just like dropped into orbit and then actually planned our return. But hey, after all the failures I've had this mission, I deserved a break. And the game has agreed because it just luckily lined me right up with KSP. So apparently these poodles also double as a heat shield. And as long as you're going less than 2,000 meters a second. Oh, gimbal's getting all crazy again. Don't do that. And it's protecting all the sweet parts, i.e. the probe, batteries, and parachutes. And we have 3. Actually, I should have really looked at what this thing weighed. I hope 3's enough. I should have actually. Yeah, that was dumb. I should have saved some fuel. Even though this is a space engine, I bet you if I fired it, I would have been able to slow down a bit before I landed. But too late now. Where are you, KSC? I know you're down there somewhere. No, you're not. Wow, look at that. We were like way out here before. And I might actually lose enough speed to pull the parachutes here. So as long as 3 parachutes is enough, we may actually recover this sucker. That'd be neat. I kind of planned I planned to at least get it back to the planet. I wasn't too sure that the Poodle engine would work as a heat shield, but you know, apparently it does. I'm surprised we're not out of power yet. How are we gaining power? That's interesting. Actually, this thing has satellite dishes now that I think about it. I probably could have deployed them. That would have been a smart idea. Did that deploy the parachutes? I didn't even see if that deployed the parachutes. I don't think that did. There, that sounded better. Yeah, I don't know what that thing was doing. So, what's our snap speed gonna be? Ooh, 5 meters a second, baby. We're gold. We are recovering this mumbo jumbo. Sweet, that means we get the Poodle engine back. We get that tank back. I should have actually just brought that fuel back. I could have reimbursed the fuel. And we're also going to get the probe, the battery. Man, we're going to get a lot of stuff back. That's awesome. That's way better than burning it up in the atmosphere. I'm curious now if it actually would have made it through the 3000 if I hadn't have just fired my engines in random directions on re-entry. Oh! Oh, and she even stood. Sweet. Oh, that is awesome. Man, I almost want to plant a flag, but I can't. So, that should be it. Da 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 da! We have deployed our GeoSync comm network, even though it turns out we didn't need it at all. But it does give us antennas way the hell out here, which I did notice when we were doing those flights to Mun and Minmus that the comms were actually dying and cutting out. So this should actually help us, even though it doesn't need a line of sight thing, whatever, but it should give us a lot stronger signal. It'll bounce off these guys and give us a lot stronger signal that I think in theory should definitely cover the Kerbin SOI. I'm gonna have to do some research to see if it covers farther than that, but looks like we have a new satellite mission in a polar orbit. We will call that a wraps for this episode, and next episode will be our trip to the Mun, I believe. So we will see you then. Ta-ta!